Good morning, students. Welcome to Bindu Dhadwal Chemistry Lessons. Today we will do distinction between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols and distinction between phenols and alcohols. So first test to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols is Lucas test. So in the test, we heat the alcohol with a equimolar mixture of HCl and zinc chloride. This mixture is called Lucas reagent. So we heat alcohol with Lucas reagent and alkyl halide is formed. As you know that alkyl halide is insoluble in water. Depending upon the rate of a reaction, turbidity appears, but at different types. If the turbidity appears immediately, it's a tertiary alkyl because tertiary is more reactive than secondary than primary. If the turbidity occurs within 5 minutes, it's a secondary alkyl halide, and if turbidity occurs only on heating, it's a primary alkyl halide, which in turn gives us the indication of alcohol. A tertiary alkyl halide will be formed by tertiary alcohol. Second test is Victor-Meyer's test. So for that, in the first step, we react alcohol with a mixture of phosphorus and iodine to form alkyl iodide. Then, in the second step, we treat this alkyl iodide with silver nitrite and corresponding nitroalkane will be formed. And in the next step, we react the nitroalkane with nitrous acid made by reacting sodium nitrite with sulfuric acid. And respective compound is formed, which is then made alkaline, and depending upon the different colors, we can identify. If the blood red color appears, it's a primary alcohol. If a blue color appears, it's a secondary alcohol. And if no color appears, then it's a tertiary alcohol. The reaction is that primary alkyl alcohol on reacting with mixture of phosphorus and iodine will form iodoalkane, which on reacting with silver nitrite forms nitroalkane, which on reacting with nitrous acid, the H2 part of the one which is attached to nitro, H2 reacts with the O of nitrous acid to form water. Water is eliminated, so NOH is attached here. This in alkaline medium gives a blood red color. So if blood red color comes, it's a primary alcohol. On the other hand, secondary alcohol will form secondary iodoalkane and a secondary nitroalkane. And on reaction with nitrous acid, because there is only one H on the carbon, so the OH part of nitrous acid attaches to form water and NO part gets attached here. This is called pseudonitrol and it gives blue color in alkaline solution. The tertiary alcohol will form tertiary iodoalkane and tertiary nitroalkane, and there is no action with nitrous acid, so no color, so the solution appears colorless. So if the solution is colorless, it's a tertiary alcohol. If it's blue, it's a secondary alcohol, and if it's red, it's a primary alcohol. Then next test is oxidation reaction. On oxidation of primary alcohol, ketone and acids with same number of carbon atoms are formed. Whereas when we oxidize secondary alcohol, ketone is formed with the same number of carbon atoms, but acid that is formed has lesser carbon atoms. And in case of tertiary alcohol, on oxidation, ketone will be formed with lesser number of carbon atoms and acid will be formed with still lesser number of carbon atoms. So we can get a knowledge of which alcohol is formed from the number of carbon atoms on oxidation. A reduction of copper metal at 573 Kelvin also gives different products. For example, primary alcohol will give aldehyde, secondary alcohol will give ketones, and tertiary alcohol will give alkenes. In iodoform test, all alcohols containing a methyl group attached to the carbon containing OH group, that is carbinol group, can be distinguished from other alcohols by iodoform test. Iodoform will be formed when this methyl group is present to the carbon containing OH group, and it will not be formed in other cases. So this kind of alcohol, when made to react with iodine and NaOH or iodine and Na2CO3, forms a yellow colored precipitates of iodoform, and thus these tests can be used to differentiate between these compounds, methanol and ethanol. Methanol will not give iodoform test, ethanol will give. Ethanol will give, propanol will not give. Propane 2-ol will give, but propanol 1-ol will not give. Butane 2-ol will give, it contains this group, and butane 1-ol will not give because at alpha there is not a methyl group, there is a methylene group attached. So next is distinction between alcohols and phenols. Phenols give litmus test and turn blue litmus red. Alcohols do not give this test. With ferric chloride solution, phenol give colored solutions, whereas alcohols do not give this test. With bromine water, phenols give white precipitates. Alcohols do not give this test. White precipitates are formed because of formation of 2,4,6-tribromophenol. In coupling reaction, phenols will give colored dyes like yellow, orange or red with ice cold solution of benzene diazonium chloride. Alcohols do not give this test. With sodium hydroxide solutions, phenols will form sodium salts. Alcohols do not react with NaOH. In Lieberman's test, phenol give red coloration with the nitrous acid and blue coloration with NaOH after red coloration with nitrous acid, but alcohols do not give this test. So on the basis of these tests, we can distinguish between alcohols and phenols. That's all in today's video. Thank you. Have a nice day.